Hello, I'm Professor Blackman, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to calculate z-scores and the mean and standard deviation of those z-scores. So first off, you need to know your formulas. So for z-scores, we have these two formulas here, and so it's very important to know if you're talking about a population or if you're talking about a sample of data. And because we both use standard deviation, but we need to make sure that we are using the correct standard deviation from our formulas. Mean, however, is the same for both formulas. We use the same exact formula to calculate the mean. And so just making sure that we are pulling the right standard deviation from our calculator. All right, so let's go ahead and put that data into our calculator and get our information. All right, so hit Stat and go to Edit, and in List 1, we put 76, 60, 60, 81, 72, 80, 80, 68, and 73. So now we have our 9 data items in. We're going to go ahead and quit. Quit is blue, so hit second then mode. And now we're back to our home screen. Then go back to Stat, hit right to go to the Calculate menu, and we're going to use this one bar stats, which is one variable statistics. Run it. We are pulling from list 1. Leave your frequency blank, and then go ahead and hit Enter on Calculate. And so now we get our mean, which is same either way, whether you use X bar or mu, 72.2222. Now I'm writing down 4 decimal places here because it says round to the nearest hundredth, and I'd like to always use twice as many significant digits as we are asked to round to. And then we need to know if this is a population or a sample. This is the entire population, so we would use the standard deviation 7.6707. And I did round up because it was 69. All right, so now once we have that, we can plug in to the formula. So for student 1, we can go 76 minus 72.222 divided by 7.6707. And then we do that again with using the 60, and then the 60 and the 60. Now this, putting it into our calculator, I'd go up and hit my F1, grab that fraction, and then do 76 minus 72.2222 over 7.6707. Hit enter, and I get this. So I know the z-score here is 0.49. Now, I don't want to have to put that in 8 more times. So there is a better way to do that. And so I want to show you that. I'm going to go back to my stat and go to edit. Now I'm going to go over to list 2, and then I'm going to go up to the top. So if you notice, there's an equal sign at the bottom of this screen. And so what I'm going to do is wherever I see X, I'm going to put that as list 1, because all of my values, 76, 60, 60, are already in list 1. Now, how fractions work, I need to make sure that this is put in parentheses and then divide by the bottom. So I'm going to open up a parenthesis. I'm going to pull list 1, which is second 1, and then I'm going to do minus the 72.2222, close that parenthesis, and divide by my standard deviation, which is 7.6707. And I'm hit enter. And now you can see that 0.49 all the way down. Now, since I need to round all these to 2 decimal places, there's a way to tell your calculator how to do that. And so what I'm going to do, you could round it yourself if you wanted to, but I'm going to push this mode button. And right there where it says float, I'm going to move it over to 2. So it's going to float to 2 decimal places and round everything to 2 decimal places. So now when I go back to my stat and edit, I can now see all of my values that are rounded for me. Now, if I hover over it, it shows all the values. So the negative 1.5933617, but it rounds for me. So now I can fill in these values pretty quickly. Negative 1.59, negative 1.59, 81 is 1.14, 72 is negative 0.03, 80 is 1.01. Of course, the other 80 would also be the same. And scroll down. And then 68 is negative 0.55. And 73 is 0.10. And so now I have all of that put in. All right, at the bottom, we're asked to calculate the mean of the z-scores. So instead of having to type all of that in, I already have all that information in list 2. So I'm going to go back and quit. Now I'm back at my home screen. I'm going to go to stat, go to calculate, and I'm going to run one variable statistics again. Except all of our z-scores are in list 2, not list 1. So I'm going to push second and then 2, because see how the L2 is blue right here? So now my list is pulling from list 2. And so then I go to calculate that. And you can see that my X bar is 2.90 e to the negative 6. So that's 2.90, which is times 10 to the negative 6. Which means 0.0000290. So we're asked to round to the nearest tenth. So that's 0. So this is 0.0. And then we're asked for the standard deviation. Standard deviation, remember we are using this standard deviation because we're talking about the entire population. And it is 1.00. 1.0 because we're asked to round to 1 decimal place. All right, that's all I have for you today. If you ever need anything else worked out, please let me know. And as always, happy studying.